Hi friends, section 2 of The Wasteland by Eliot, a game of chess. As I earlier told you, see the article used, a game of chess, not the game of chess. Difference is, there are many such fraud committed maybe all around the world or during the time when he wrote this poem. A game of chess, one such of frauds you can say. This is the richest example of register mix in modern poetry. Richest example. Deliberately the poet shifts between high, the literary, and you have got aristocratic language, and also low, colloquial, everyday speech, so to say. Even slang I can say. Tata, Tata, good night. It begins, as you can see, high elevated language, register, reflects the fragmentation of moral decay of modern society. Modern society means immediately after war, and even now it continues. Now that's why we are so much, but that's why we feel that the wasteland is relevant even today, just as we feel that, or we are convinced that Shakespeare's plays written 16th century still relevant in our life. Like, for example, jealousy, then you have got that is rejection of father by daughters. You have again the vaulting ambition, as in the case of Macbeth. And we also see young men, doubting young men. They are unable to make decisions. Such people you find, young people or old people you find even today. And that's why these plays are still relevant, and we feel that they are still relevant to us. So here what happens is the register shift or the register mix has got a relevance here, because what the poet is trying to bring before us, the objective correlative that the poet is trying to create is the fragmentation and moral decay of the society. So it starts with the high elevated register. The opening description of the lady, the rich lady, luxurious, poetic, Shakespearean-like, then classical, full of imagery, mythology, and also you find the classical art, see that, symbolic and literary allusions. For example, and it reflects again the empty, sterile society or the human relationships of those days. And then you find, as you can see, burnished throne to begin with, a golden cupidon, 7-branched candelabra. Then you have got a carved dolphin, the change of Philomel by a barbarous king. These are the things. You see, that is mythological, some of this classical, reference to classical art and so on. And suddenly it shifts to conversational register. The nervous woman said, "What are you thinking of?" What? Thinking? What? It's a conversation line. You know nothing. Do you see nothing? What do you remember? Nothing. What shall we do? What shall we ever do? See that? So conversational, and also a kind of what we can say, something that the woman cannot hold in her mind. The social disconnection that has happened in the wasteland, she represents that. What shall we ever do? There is no aim, and aimless people. No goals to set. So what shall we ever do? Nothing to do. That's the thing. The mental anxiety. And we shall play a game of chess. Nothing else can be done, but only some frauds we can commit. That is, the society can be frankly fraud, as some people would say. So there is nothing but frauds, nothing but games of chess. That is, and we shall play a game of chess. That is what she says. And then what happens is that the point to be noted here is a total communication failure, a total disconnection, social disconnection, even in the intimate relationship between some person speaking, that must be some baby, or it is understood that she is talking to someone, and that someone may be her husband with whom she has not comparatively as we can see, judge, or as we can reason, deduct from the situation that they are not at all connected in any way, although it's an intimate relationship. So it's the reason why T.S. Eliot is shifting registration, mixing registration is this, to present or to create an objective reality for a fragmented society, where there is no connections, all the connections lost. London Bridge is falling down. All the relationships are falling down. That's what's happening. Secondly, you will find that conversational register, the nervous woman, already I told you. And another thing is that there is a communication failure, we can say. So and personal emptiness, nothing, mind, there's nothing in the mind. So that's what she's arguing. What shall we ever do? We shall play a game of chess. Then comes next one, the low colloquial pub talk, you can say. The pub register. The working class dialect, even slang, speak about marriage, speak about abortion, speak about there's a kind of gossip going on. That is also in a pub situation. This breakdown of communication again, decline of human relations. That's what you find there. And there is a dramatic juxtaposition. That is high and low. It's again breakdown of communication and decline of human relationship. The register reflects. Say, I swear I can't bear to look at you, because she has undergone many abortions. So I swear I can't bear to look at you. You ought to be ashamed. What do you get? What do you get married for if you don't have children? That's what he said. And then you have come to, that's a kind of, what is called, what you can say that it's a talk between, a conversation in a pub situation. Some women are there, they are talking each other. Everyone is maybe suffering in this way. Understand that? So there again what happens is that the husband has sent some money to her wife, then what she is doing there, and at the end at the end result is even her companions say, her friends say, I can't look at you. We can't look at you. You have gone down like anything. You ought to be ashamed to come with such a appearance. What do you get married for if you don't want? What are you doing? You are supposed to bring forth children. Understand? Instead, what are you doing? You are using, or you can abusing your marriage. That's what, and that is what led to fragmentation, social decay, moral decay, social disconnection, and also emptiness of life in that society. That is the objective correlative that T.S. Eliot is trying to create. For that, what he does is mixing registration like this. Hurry up please, it's time. Again the pub man. Hurry up please, it is time. He is not polite also there. Hurry up please. It means these women, they spend more time in pubs rather than at their homes. That's the thing. They don't want to go from there. Why? Because they get some kind of satisfaction here when they sit together, have some drinks and also talk like this. They have left it. Home sweet home, we say. But here we don't have home sweet home. Here they have got a pub sweet pub. But the pub man, he's tender, pub tender. he gets annoyed with these people. There also he finds. Otherwise what happens? Naturally we can expect that the pretender should encourage them. But here he says there is a discipline even here. Why don't you observe that discipline? Get out of this place. So hurry up, see this time. And interesting thing is, look at this. On one occasion, in citing Othello's, Othello's response to Barbancio says, "Keep up your bright swords, the dew will rust them." Barbancio and his companions, they come with drawn swords. Then to the balcony, very cool and calm, the general says, "Keep up your bright swords, for the dew will rust them." And T.S. Eliot says, that is example for one of the greatest poetry ever written in English language. That's how his assessment is like that. So also, keep up your bright swords, the dew will rust them. That is a simple sentence, as we can say. Keep up your notebooks, otherwise it will get wet. What is poetic in that? But in that context, he says, it is great poetry. Exactly like that, end of a game of chess, what you find is ta-ta, good night. But as you can see, it has got reverberations to Ophelia and Hamlet. Ta-ta, good night. So maybe he considers, and we must also consider, because it is written by T.S. Eliot, we must also consider that it is great poetry in this context. So, I hope that I have made my point clear. Richest example of register mix is a game of chess, and you find high society language, low society language, and also slang, and even day-to-day conversations like tata, bye-bye, and when you leave like a company, what do you say? That you say bye-bye, goodbye, tata. Even that is great poetry here, as T.S. Eliot has observed. If you compare this to Othello's "Keep up your bright swords, for the dew will rust them." So that is if you go, analyze this in this poem, the poem becomes very simple for us. Understand? It's not at all a very complicated poem. As we can see, after this I will take it line by line. For the time being, I am giving you only an overall view of all the sections of this poem. Considering this, my focus is this register mix in T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland.